Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. A defeat yesterday for West Ham United, and the following day I'm usually alright again. My mood resets to zero, if you like. I wouldn't say I'm over the defeat yesterday, I'm not thinking about it, but it doesn't impact how I feel. I crack on with my day, I look forward to the next game, happy days. But not today. Today still nips. That defeat yesterday still stings this morning. It hurt yesterday, and it still does hurt. And I think there's a few reasons for that. First of all, losing the 93rd minute is never easy to take. It doesn't matter who it's against. Losing late on in the game at the death is the worst way to lose a game of football. Had we lost the game in the 70th minute yesterday, would it have hurt as much? Probably not. You would have had 20 minutes during the game to sort of calm down a little bit, and it hits you a little bit. Second of all is the opposition being Manchester United, and also the magnitude of the game. I said in the review, it almost felt like a straight shootout for four to some extent. I know that is not the case, obviously, but it felt like a big game. The atmosphere was tense, especially with 10-15 minutes to go. You could feel the importance of that match. You could feel it. Then when they scored, the way they celebrated, the way the fans celebrated and stuff, you could see how much it meant to them, Man United, yesterday. They can't play down that it was only West Ham with that. That was huge for them. It was a massive, massive win for them, but it's also a massive defeat for us. But it's also the reasons that I believe contributed to us losing that game, and there's various different ones. Of course, you can look at Ryan Fredericks and you can talk about his positioning and what he did after he lost the ball and so on and so forth. You can talk about how Jared Bowen lost it prior to Ryan Fredericks flicking the header on and stuff. But the biggest reasons for me come down to the same reasons as Leeds United: lack of squad depth and lack of transfer activity. Now, I'm not going to try and talk about the transfer window in this video too much. I'm going to leave that for tomorrow's video, mainly the striker debate, because I've seen Moyes' comments after the game and they don't sit particularly well with me at all, but I'm going to deal with that tomorrow. This is going to be at my best about yesterday's game, and there was some positives. Let's start with a few positives, because inevitably there's obviously a few negatives as well after defeat, but let's start with the positives, because there was some. Areola come in, thought it looked good, wasn't really called upon too much, didn't have loads to do. He had to make one good save, he made it, but I thought his distribution was really good. And I felt assured with him in goal. I'm not saying I don't feel that with Fabianski, but I don't feel it with Fabianski with distribution. Now, Lucas never gets caught out. Never we pass the ball back to Fabianski and a striker nicks in and takes it or anything like that. But he usually just hoofs it out of play, and I feel like we concede possession a lot with Fabianski's playing out from the back. I didn't really feel that with Areola yesterday. I thought it was a good performance from him. I liked it. And I would like to see him remain as the number one goalkeeper. It is not necessarily anything against Fabianski. This isn't anti-Fabianski. It's just pro-Areola. I think it's possible to rate both goalkeepers, but just have a slight preference for the other one, especially when you take into consideration their ages and stuff, and going forward, the long term of West Ham. Because we keep getting reminded, whenever we lose, people remind us that we're probably ahead of schedule in terms of what David Moyes wanted to do. I agree with that. I think we are. I don't think we are a side. We're not the fourth best team in the league, but I think every West Ham fan knows that. Nobody's ever claimed we are the fourth best team in the Premier League, or we deserve to be fourth in the Premier League, or we should be finishing fourth. No one's claimed that. And we get told, but it's about the long term thing, we're making good progress. Well, okay, well, let's stick with the long term thing and have a look at Areola as our potential long term goalkeeper at West Ham. But anyway, back to yesterday's game. I thought the defence looked a lot better because of Kurt Zouma, mainly. I think the tactics helped. I thought we were a little bit defensive yesterday. I thought we sat back a lot more. I thought we were a lot deeper, which makes it easier to defend sometimes. But Kurt Zouma was an absolute monster at the back yesterday. Whenever Man United attacked, there was at one point where they did attack in the first half, and it felt like you could sense a chance being created for Man United. You could feel the build-up. I think it was Ronaldo that was on the ball. I think a couple of players making a run. Zouma just stayed there, slowed the attack down, and then he just bang, in he went, made the tackle, made the interception, whichever it was, I can't recall perfectly. Got the ball, and he just played out of defence. Superb defending. I thought he was fantastic yesterday. Delight to have him back. And he just makes other defenders better. The top class defenders just do that. You know, Joe Gomez and Matip at Liverpool, two really good centre-backs. As a pairing, they're good, but you take one out and put Van Dijk in, the defence just becomes world-class. Van Dijk he just makes defenders better. Kurt Zouma does the same for West Ham. I thought defensively we were quite good. We were strong. We kept Man United out for, 93 minutes really. Like I said, the keeper didn't really have much to do. Zouma, unbelievable. I thought Declan Rice was good yesterday. I thought he was the best player on the pitch. I thought he was the best player on the pitch. Man United have got the superstar, the one that everybody in the world knows. They've got Bruno Fernandes, the top creator of the Premier League. They're bringing on Cavani, Martial and Rashford and stuff. But Declan Rice was the best player on the pitch. I thought his role yesterday was very, very disciplined. It was sort of like back to old Declan, if you like, for 90 minutes, which was shield the back four. And you can't say the keeper didn't have much to do and then not praise the defence, but then you can't say that defence played well. In order for defence to play well, you need the people in front of him to protect him. Declan Rice wasn't there yesterday. They have more to do, and they inevitably made mistakes. I thought Declan was superb as a shield in front of the back four. We perhaps lost his attacking runs, or should I say, I think we lost Souček's attacking runs. So Declan sat back, was a lot more disciplined. But it didn't necessarily take the shackles off Souček. But I think that came down to tactics. And for 93 minutes, the tactics half worked. And I say half worked because the defensive side of them worked. They were really good, kept Man United out, and obviously we know what happened in the 93rd minute. But the reason I think the tactics only half worked is because we set up to play counter-attacking football, but especially for the first half, we forgot to do the counter-attacking bit. I thought we struggled to get the ball out our half, really. We got a couple of bits and pieces. Lanzini at one point, I don't know who it was, I think it was Varane, he sort of went toe-to-toe with in the box and got ushered out for a goal kick and stuff. And we had glimpses, we had half chances to create something, but we didn't create anything. And while Areola had a quiet game, David De Gea had a quiet game as well. In the second half, I thought we came out a little bit more. I think we started to attack them a little bit more. My summary of the first half is that we weren't really threatened West Ham. We didn't really threaten Man United either. And I think you could probably say the same for Man U. Didn't threaten West Ham, but weren't threatened at the back. In the second half, I felt like we decided to try and play a little bit more, take the game a little bit more. We didn't really go gung-ho or throw a kitchen sink at them. I think we just decided to see if we could create something. And when it came down to it, there was a couple of, the cross. Antonia was on the left, had a chance to cross it and it went out for a goal kick. Fornals had a cross from the left, went out for a goal kick. And that was just poor. It was poor from our striker, poor from our left winger. Dawson almost scored from a head. I thought it was in. I celebrated. I half celebrated it. I genuinely thought it was a goal. But we just didn't have that punch, if you like. And this is where the tactics were a bit frustrating. And I say tactics, I'm actually not blaming Moyes here. I think he got his tactics right. His game plan was right. Sit back, keep a clean sheet and try and get something on the break. But in order for that to work, the one man that's crucial to this, the one player that's absolutely crucial to us playing counter-attacking football is Michail Antonio. And he wasn't good yesterday. He was poor. Michail Antonio was poor yesterday. Now last week, David Moyes came out after the Leeds game and said, Michail was tired today. Mickey was tired today. I wanted to take him off. Got no options. What can I do? Right, okay, let's not argue about that point. We've done that. Fine. The excuse was given for Antonio's poor performance last week. He's been tired. 3 games in 8 days. He's tired. Okay, I accept that. He probably is fatigued. Accept it. So what's the excuse for yesterday? Because there isn't any. You can't use fatigue. He's had a week off. Man United have played 3 games in 1 week, which is what we used that as an excuse for losing to Leeds. That 3 games in 1 week while Leeds had a break. Well, we had a break this week. Man United didn't. And yes, I know they've got better squad depth. I know Man U have got more squad depth and that they can bring in world-class players essentially for other players. But that team that played yesterday played against Brentford during the week. If I'm right, they made one change, and that was Harry Maguire came in for Lindelof, who wasn't playing because his house got broken into. So 10 of the starting 11 yesterday for Man United played against Brentford. Now, I haven't looked to see how many of them played against Aston Villa the following weekend, the previous weekend, sorry. I'm going to take a stab in the dark that it was 10 of them again. I think Ronaldo was missing. Alanga certainly started. You know what my point is here, though. 9 of those outfielders have played 3 games in a week. Yet fatigue was our excuse for losing against Leeds. So what's our excuse for not winning yesterday? What's our excuse for not picking anything up? I think a large part of it is the performance of Michail Antonio. If you're going to, we've seen it before. Part of the reason we have done well under David Moyes is because Michail Antonio has been in top form up front, where he's been a nuisance for defenders, he's ran the channels really well, he's held the ball up really well, he's been scoring goals. When Antonio plays well, our counter-attacking football works. It just does. But it wasn't working yesterday. It wasn't working in the first half. He had a few chances where we put the ball up to him and he didn't hold on to it. He struggled to hold on to it. But again, we couldn't change it. We just had to leave him on and hope eventually he would start playing well. And he didn't. He didn't start playing well. I thought the Man United defenders had a reasonably straightforward game looking after him. Maguire got picked up a yellow card, but that was for a foul on Jared Bowen, not Mikel Antonio. I thought Bowen looked good. I thought tried to make things happen. At one point I thought he was way to do a goal that was going to be compatible to Lionel Messi when he just ran down the middle of the pitch past every Man United player, just ran out of room at the end, I guess, and there were just so many bodies around him. But I felt like he was the one most likely to create something. Like I said, I thought Fornals played badly. He was bad. I thought Lanzini was quiet. I thought Souček ran around a lot. I thought off the ball, I think Souček was really, really good off the ball. On the ball, he's limited. He is limited. And that's okay. That's why he plays for West Ham. That's why he doesn't play for Manchester City or Liverpool or something like that. If he had the passing attributes of, I know people are going to laugh at me, it was even just Jordan Henderson, because it would be enough to turn him into a top centre midfielder. He didn't have a bad game, Souček. He just wasn't able to influence it, if you like. But I think the two main reasons yesterday for us struggling was, one, Antonia didn't play well. We almost played counter-attacking football without counter-attacking. And then the second one is the bench. It is the bench. And I came away yesterday, I'll be honest with you, angry. Because we brought on Ryan Fredericks. Now, that substitution is one of two things. I felt it was just down to... I actually thought Moyes was trying to make a change to help us counter-attack. I thought, right, okay, that's what he's done. He's taken off Soufal, put on Ryan Fredericks, who's got a bit of pace, can perhaps overlap Jared Bowen, get down that right-hand side. He's faster. He's one of our fastest players. I genuinely thought at the time it was an attacking change for Moyes. I'm not saying I agreed with it. I felt that's what Moyes was trying to do, trying to get us up the pitch a little bit more. But in hindsight, now it's the day after and stuff like that, I feel like perhaps it was just to counteract Marcus Rashford's pace. Rashford come on 5-10 minutes prior to that, and maybe that Moyes was just putting Fredericks on so at least we could, in a foot race, keep up with him, essentially. But that was our only sub. Now, it was frustrating. I assumed during the game, Vlasic was going to come on for Fornals at some point, and that substitution felt inevitable. Never came. But it comes down to the bench. And like I said, I'm not going to try and talk about the transfer window per se, because I've seen Moyes' comments after the game. And yesterday after the match, I was angry. I was annoyed. We've just lost a very important game for reasons that was glaringly obvious prior to yesterday's game. Myself and Gonzo have said it a few times, and we'll say it again, we don't mind getting things wrong on this channel. I'm a mouthy Scotsman on the webcam. Gonzo's a little man in a shed on a webcam. That's it. So when we get things wrong, big deal. But what's worse is when we get what we feel is when we get things right, and you can see it coming. And yesterday's instance is lack of squad depth, not being active in the transfer market. In yesterday's game was a repercussion of that. You can tell me you disagree, that's fine, but you won't change my mind on this, that we lost yesterday's game because of that. Or maybe not lost it, we couldn't try and win yesterday's game because of the bench. Let's put it like that, because I felt like I said, I felt like we had a little go at them, but I don't feel like we went for the win. I felt like we went there for the 0-0, if I'm honest with you. I felt that Moyes' tactics was there for 0-0, and hopefully we'll catch something on the break. But when the striker don't play very well, then you're not going to do that. But the fact we left him on would suggest that Moyes was okay with 0-0, because if he wasn't, he should have changed Antonio. Who should he have brought on? Well, that's the problem, isn't it? There is no one to bring on. But that's because of the manager. And his people, it does split opinion. The West Ham striker search does split opinion, doesn't it? It really, really does. I'm on one side of the fence. I've seen plenty of people on the other side. I think both sides make valid points. But that'll be tomorrow's video. I'm going to deal with that tomorrow, the striker search. Because like I said, while I was a bit angry after yesterday's defeat, I saw what Moyes said in relation to the striker search. It just angered me even more, to be honest with you. But anyway, a defeat yesterday, and it still hurts. It is still stingy. But like I said, plenty of positives. Got no game now. That's the winter break coming up. So the transfer window shuts a week tomorrow, sorry. So we've got 8 days to get in a centre-back and a striker. I feel like we could do one more, but I'm resigned to the fact there will be a centre-back and a striker. And I bloody hope we get both, because yesterday showed we need it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like on and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Catch you in a bit.